time, he must be punished.
Created by the infamous Scott Cawthon, Five Nights at Freddy's, or FNAF, changed horror games forever. Coming out in 2014, the franchise has released more than 10 games, several books, and a mega-sized merchandising campaign. With so much lore and story mixed all over the place, we finally decided to look at the morality behind these animatronics. I'm Kyle with One Up Binge, and this is the Five Nights at Freddy's series characters, good to evil. Let's post up in the security room at Freddy Fazbear's Pizza and get started. These characters are the good. The gold medal of good is going to Glamrock Freddy. Out of all the animatronics in the franchise, we feel Glamrock Freddy is the most pure. In Security Breach, he helped Gregory whenever he could, guided him, and fought against Vanny to protect him. Even though he got broken up and kidnapped, he still did his best to protect Gregory. While in the latter half of the game, Glamrock Freddy might kill Gregory if they didn't do his repairs correctly. He still saw him as his friend and wanted to get him out of the Mega Pizzaplex. So he gets the gold medal because he protected Gregory from Vanessa and his animatronic friends. Also, going against your own kind and knowing that your friends were hurt must not have been easy for him. Our silver medal of good is going to the puppet. The puppet has been around since FNAF 2, and its lore goes back even further. It was revealed that it held the spirit of Charlotte Emily, the selfless and noble girl who was one of William Afton's victims. After she possessed the puppet, it became vengeful and sadistic, claiming to be very aware of its surroundings. In FNAF 2, the puppet was one of two animatronics that couldn't be fooled by the mask. The only way to keep it at bay is to keep the music box playing, winding it with the cameras. The puppet is also the only animatronic whose level of difficulty couldn't be changed in the custom night. While the puppet is an antagonist to the player, it earns the silver medal of good because, as shown in one of the random game over minigames, the puppet gave life to other animatronics that we know and love. It's very protective of the other animatronics and harbors no resentment to anyone it deems a threat. We believe the puppet will have a great time torturing William Afton in his hell.
I'm not afraid of you. Not anymore.
Our bronze medal of good is going to the first of the toy animatronics, Toy Freddy. While it may be an odd choice to give Toy Freddy the bronze medal of good, we have some good reasons. In FNAF 2, Toy Freddy was one of the toy animatronics that attacked the player and would only be deterred by the mask. Toy Freddy was the only toy animatronic that would stand in the office with the withered animatronics. However, in Ultimate Custom Night, more of his personality was revealed. The game showcased him as childish, wisecracking, and introverted. He's one of the very few characters who is more friendly to people. When William Afton messes up Toy Freddy's game, he gets very aggressive. While he doesn't fully understand true friendship, we feel his friendliness is enough to earn him the bronze medal. Just don't mess up on his game. Next up is the mixed up Mangle. Mangle was originally named Funtime Foxy, not to be confused with Funtime Foxy and sister location. After Mangle was placed in Kids Cove, the kids tore it apart and turned it into a mangled mess. After the staff got tired of putting Mangle back together, they decided to turn Mangle into a take apart and put it back together attraction. As for Mangle's personality, it is aware that it's in severe disrepair. It seems to have several personalities whose voices overlap with each other. They often speak in a mocking or sarcastic tone and also tease the player. We decided to throw it in the good tier because it doesn't have any particularly bad traits that we know of. Next up, we have our first human character, Gregory. Gregory is who you play as in Security Breach. He's a little kid who wants to get out of the Mega Pizzaplex. He teamed up with Glamrock Freddy to escape. He's brave and fearless most of the time, but irritated and outspoken. Throughout the game, he escaped from Vanessa and most of the animatronics with the help of Glamrock Freddy. In the latter half of the game, he figured a way to break each of the animatronics to take their improved parts for Glamrock Freddy. He showed no mercy towards them, and even lied to Glamrock Freddy about how he got the parts. He developed a strong bond with him and saw him as a father figure. Next up, we have the main mascots for the franchise, Freddy Fazbear and Withered Freddy. A quick disclaimer, we'll be ranking the main cast of FNAF 1 and the withered versions of them together since, by lore and storyline, they are the same animatronics. Freddy Fazbear's the face of Freddy Fazbear's Pizza, which would make him the leader of the original cast of animatronics. In the first game, he would be the one to jump scare when you run out of power, but not before he plays a song for your demise. When he becomes active, he sneaks around the restaurant laughing. He will sneak inside your office if you're not careful. As Withered Freddy in FNAF 2, it was revealed that Freddy had a benevolent side. As shown in one of the Game Over minigames, he attempted to save the children from William Afton, only to be too late. Much of his personality was revealed in later games. He loved to taunt people and scare his victims. However, he is somewhat merciful, and has a childlike sense of mischief with a dash of sarcasm. Next, we have the gluttonous Chica and withered Chica. She's proven many times that she loves pizza a little too much. In FNAF 1, she gets distracted and heads to the kitchen to make food. As heard in the camera, Chica makes a lot of noise. When she gets to your door, however, she'll stay there longer than Bonnie and the rest of the animatronics. As withered Chica in FNAF 2, she's aware that she's damaged and has said that she's a survivor and has seen everything. This would imply that the spirit who possesses Chica was one of the first of William Afton's victims. At the end of the day, she's just a gluttonous animatronic that really loves pizza. Moving on to the pirate, Foxy and withered Foxy. Foxy has an energetic pirate personality. He often speaks in pirate slang, all with a pirate accent. He is perceptive and not easily deceived. In the first game, he'll slowly come out of his area, Pirate Cove, and run towards the player if they don't close the door in time. In FNAF 2, as Withered Foxy, he is much more aggressive and malicious. He and the puppet are the only animatronics who are not fooled by the mask. The only way to deter him would be to flash your light at him. We decided to cut Foxy some slack, since his pirate personality is more fun and likable, but we can't rank him any higher. Moving on to the last of the original cast, Bonnie and Withered Bonnie. Bonnie is the rock guitarist for the crew. Out of all the animatronics in the first game, however, he's the most active and most eager to kill any adults he sees. He moves to different locations before he goes to the office to throw the player off. He becomes deceptive and impatient when the door gets shut on him. In FNAF 2, as Withered Bonnie, he is aware that he is in disrepair and has lost his face. He enjoys making face puns and taunting the player about his scary appearance. Being the only animatronic that doesn't have a face, there is a sadness within. He feels neglected and left out. The last spot in our quote-unquote good section is going to Balloon Boy. We know this is going to make a lot of people angry, but hear us out. Balloon Boy is the most hated animatronic in the entire FNAF franchise, and we do understand why. He was introduced in FNAF 2. When he reached your office, he would take away your flashlight battery, allowing Withered Foxy to end your run. Other than that, however, he doesn't seem to have any bad traits as far as we know. He's cheerful and very shy, always laughing like he's having a good time. With our more good animatronics out of the way, we've reached the gray area. First off, we have the Twisted Amalgamation, Ennard. While there's not much known about Ennard, we do know what he is and what he does. In Sister Location, he was made out of 4 animatronics, out of the combination of Circus Baby, Ballera, Funtime Freddy, and Funtime Foxy. Ennard was created to escape from Circus Baby's entertainment and rental. In the lore, it was shown that Ennard was stuffed and disguised as the player to escape into the real world. Next up is the mysterious Golden Freddy. Golden Freddy is the biggest mystery in the franchise. Its personality is unknown and he is sly and silent. In the first game, he is only seen if you find his poster in one of the cameras. If you don't flip up your camera in time when you see him, he will crash your game. In the sequel, he was given his official name after almost everyone calling him Golden Freddy. All he does is watch from the shadows, and almost stare at you saying, "It's me." Moving on to Roxanne Wolf. Being the only wolf animatronic in the franchise, Roxanne is very popular among fans. She is very vain, always complimenting herself in the mirror, and this comes from her lack of self-esteem. She calls herself a failure but doesn't want her friends to see her more vulnerable side. After Gregory destroyed her face and took her eyes, she became saddened, deranged, and more aggressive. No longer able to see herself or anything else, she relies on sound and scent to catch Gregory and make him pay for what he did to her. We won't rank her any lower because she still cares for her friends and her appearance, and we can't blame her for crying and seeking vengeance after what Gregory did to her. Next up, we have the Phantoms. The Phantom animatronics are hallucinations who appear in FNAF 3 that the player must not see. We're ranking them together since they all have the same personality. They consist of Phantom Freddy, Phantom Chica, Phantom Foxy, Phantom Balloon Boy, Phantom Mangle, and Phantom Puppet. They jump scare the player to cause a distraction and allow Springtrap to continue to the office. They are a perfect fit for the middle of the gray area since they're all mindless phantoms and were created by the player, while suffering from lack of oxygen and the creepy atmosphere of Fazbear Frights. Next up is Funtime Foxy. Funtime Foxy is another of the animatronics that appeared in Sister Location. He's more of a silent, introverted animatronic who prefers to be alone. He also has a bigger-than-life persona on stage, wanting to be a ringmaster. His voice sounds like a megaphone, since he was created to copy other adult voices. Next is Ballora. Ballora is the ballerina dancer for Sister Location. While she may seem calm and composed, her personality is seductive and deadly. While she's a very talented singer, Baby has said that Ballora never learns. She's also very sadistic and heedless of what the player thinks of her. She loves to taunt the player with singing, but we will cut her a bit of slack since she is more of a motherly figure to the other animatronics. The last animatronic in the gray area is Toy Bonnie. Toy Bonnie is shown as not only sadistic, but arrogant, petty, and more narcissistic than the other animatronics. Toy Bonnie believes that he's more famous than the mascot. He is boastful and obsessed with popularity. He's also very skilled at taunting the player when it comes to showing off. While he's not good at counting, he's intelligent enough to harm people psychologically and emotionally by taking advantage of their insecurities. With the gray area wrapped up, we've arrived at the dark side. These characters are the bad and the evil. The first animatronic in this category is Glam Rock Chica. Glam Rock Chica is the guitarist playing next to Montgomery and Roxanne, and she is a glutton like the other Chicas. She's very deceitful, attempting to use fake promises to lure Gregory out of hiding, and giving out discounts on junk food to patrons in her gym. Her weakness for pizza can be exploited, which easily distracts her. She doesn't rank any lower since when she's not aggressive, she does care about her friends. She rushed to Glamrock Freddy's aid when he collapsed, and kept a bowling ball in memory of their deceased friend, Glamrock Bonnie. Next is Toy Chica. Toy Chica, in our opinion, is the worst of the toy animatronics. In FNAF 2, when she becomes active, she loses her beak and eyes, making her jump scare much more scary to the player. According to Scott Cawthon, during development, he felt that Toy Chica wasn't scary enough, so he made this change to make her much more terrifying. As for her personality, Toy Chica is shown to be sadistic, psychotic, bloodthirsty, and sassy. Her lines suggest that she's also a bit sardonic and impatient when she's torturing her victims.
I think I'm done playing now.
She feels no remorse for her actions, but pleasurably savors them. Next is the daycare attendant, Sundrop and Moondrop. He was introduced in Security Breach, and is very strict with the rules in his daycare. Sundrop is very energetic and upbeat. He loves to play with kids, and do all sorts of activities with them. He keeps the daycare tidy for health and safety reasons, so that he can keep the daycare open. His only rule is to keep the lights on. However, it's his other side that drops him to the bad tier. When the lights go off, he changes to Moondrop. He then becomes more aggressive and malevolent, forcing children to go to bed and punishing any child that stays up past their bedtime. There was an incident in the game where, after an evening spent in the daycare, one of the kids was so traumatized, he refused to go to bed again with the lights off. And even with the lights on, he wet the bed. After Gregory turned the lights back on, Sundrop banned him from the daycare and alerted the other animatronics. We can't rank him any lower since he can't control the transformation when the lights go off, but traumatizing kids is never good for business. Moving on to Funtime Freddy. While Funtime Freddy may seem like an energetic bear who loves to entertain children, that's far from what he truly is. Secretly, he's psychotic, deranged, and sadistic, who laughs with glee as he attempts to kill his victims. He speaks with a bloodthirsty and crazed tone, very much like a serial killer. If he doesn't kill his victims, he attempts to traumatize them and haunt their dreams. However, he doesn't rank any lower because of his hand puppet, Bonbon, who is more low-key and does his best to calm Funtime Freddy down. Regardless, we don't want him anywhere near us. The last animatronic in the bad tier is the last of the Glamrock animatronics, Montgomery Gator. Montgomery Gator, or simply Monty, is the most destructive of the Glamrock animatronics. He replaced Glamrock Bonnie after he disappeared, and he wasn't a good team player. He seems to dislike Glamrock Freddy, as shown in his final golf minigame where Freddy is in a dumpster. He seems to be jealous of Glamrock Freddy as the leading animatronic entertainer, and wants to replace him. He seems to like to destroy things, especially doors and locked fences. The management has tried to deter Monty by putting up signs with a no cross over a symbol, with little effect. We rank him lower because of his intentions, but other than that, he is a huge attention hog. Next up, we get to the first purely evil animatronics, the Nightmare animatronics. The Nightmare animatronics are what they sound like. They are the nightmarish versions of the original FNAF characters. We decided to rank them all together since they have about the same personality. In FNAF 4, they're all depicted as cruel and menacing animatronics who want to harm anyone they see. They consist of Nightmare Freddy, Nightmare Bonnie, Nightmare Chica, Nightmare Foxy, Plush Trap, and many more. Which brings us to Nightmare Fredbear. While we don't know much about Nightmare Fredbear, what we do know is that he's just up above the other Nightmare animatronics for a couple of reasons. He's just as much of a killer as the others, except that Nightmare Fredbear seems to torture his victims a lot longer than the others. He seems to take a lot of pleasure in torturing his victims, inflicting as much pain as he can, more than earning a spot in the bottom 5 most evil FNAF characters. And just outside of our evil podium, we have the mastermind of Sister Location, Circus Baby. She possesses the spirit of Elizabeth Afton, the daughter of William Afton, after she was killed by Baby. William Afton built the Funtime animatronics to kill children, and Baby was one of these. In the game, she comes off as calm and kind in the beginning. However, it was later revealed that she had much darker intentions. She was distraught and sorrowful at being trapped in the facility, and she wanted to get out. So she won the player's trust, killed him, and wore the player's skin as entered. In Pizzeria Simulator, she returned as Scrap Baby after she was ejected from Ennard. Her mental state got worse and became more violent and sadistic. She seemed to want to follow in her father's footsteps, becoming a serial killer as well, all to make him proud. So while Baby is demented and ruthless, we won't rank her lower because she was driven insane inside the facility of Sister Location. And our last 3 entries do get much worse. Our bronze medal of evil is going to the monstrous Nightmare. In our opinion, we consider Nightmare to be the worst of the Nightmare animatronics. Nightmare is more cruel and sadistic than the others, arrogant and overconfident. He enjoys mocking the player whenever he can, informing the player of their impending death in a deep sadistic manner. He has the deepest voice out of all of the animatronics, pretty befitting to his monstrous name.
The shadow fears thee.
Taking the silver medal of evil is Vanessa, aka Vanny. Vanessa is the main antagonist for Security Breach. Yes, we know it's still a mystery whether Vanessa and Vanny are the same person, but we'll be ranking them together anyway. As Vanessa, she's the security guard for the Mega Pizzaplex, who is no nonsense with Gregory roaming around the building. She takes her job very seriously. She is hot-tempered, but also seems very lonely. If you're able to access the room with the CDs, you'll learn that Vanessa struggles with severe anxiety, depression, and past trauma. As Vanny, however, she's very sadistic and insane. She'll hop with glee at the idea of killing Gregory and laughs when she's about to kill him. In one of the endings, she happily ordered the staff bots to disassemble Glamrock Freddy, with Vanny happily skipping along to murder Gregory. Despite this, however, she is capable of showing fear, especially when her plan backfires. On the whole, while Vanessa and Vanny are more evil and sadistic than everyone we have mentioned, nothing, and we mean nothing, compares to our gold medal winner. At long last, our gold medal of evil has to go to the man that started everything in Five Nights at Freddy, William Afton, aka the Purple Guy. There is no doubt that William Afton is the textbook definition of pure evil, maybe even one of the most evil video game characters we've covered. While at first he appeared as the Purple Guy, as a simple character who appeared in the Game Over minigames. Very soon, however, his lore and evil was revealed to be horrendous. He is a depraved serial killer that sparked the downfall of his own company. He had murdered over a dozen children, that's right, children, in cold blood, and started the chain of events across various players throughout the games. William is wicked, cold-blooded, and methodical, showing absolutely no remorse for his actions. He was even malicious enough to murder the daughter of his own partner and closest friend, Charlotte Emily. This proves that William is more than willing to harm anyone, even his own friends, whether it be physically, emotionally, or mentally. He made his first appearance as Springtrap, the main antagonist of FNAF 3. In the minigames, the ghosts of the children that he killed came back to haunt him, and he became spring-locked inside the Spring Bonnie suit he used to murder the children. He later returned in Pizza Simulator as Scrap Trap. Having survived the fire in FNAF 3, he was able to repair himself and attempted to kill the player. After escaping his hell, he was able to return in Five Nights at Freddy Help Wanted as Glitch Trap. He was able to brainwash the beta tester into doing his evil deeds and was able to escape the game. His final appearance as of now was in Security Breach, where he was known as Burn Trap. He attempted to mind control Glamrock Freddy and the other Glamrock animatronics into killing Gregory. While fleeing the old burning building, he was grabbed by the neck by the Blob, leaving his fate currently unknown. Overall, William Afton is the perfect manifestation of pure evil.